Hello everyone, this is Mike Taylor. I'm a senior SAP Business One consultant. So Tracy kind of summarized my agenda. I'm going to talk about some resources for 9.2 with the new features. I'm going to go through project management, the new module. I'm going to talk about campaigns and a couple new features, and then we'll get to browser access and actually take a look at it. So let's get started here. So some resources you may or may not have, but they're really useful for the 9.2 version. It's the What's New in 9.2 guide. So this is something that gives you a little bit of an overview of the different features. So, you know, we're kind of secretly trying to get you to upgrade, but there are tons and tons of new features, and that's kind of the purpose of these webinars. It's, you know, to show you all the work that we've done and give you a reason to upgrade. So another thing you can use, and I'll get this emailed out to you, is the official SAP Business One playlist on YouTube covering some of these topics too. So if you want more information, you can go through here, and they have short clips on each of the different kind of major segments and major new features. So that we'll email that out to you, or you can search on YouTube. So let's jump right in. Let's jump right into project management here. Tracy, could you mute? Somebody's got their, let's just mute this guy here. If you're just calling in, if you mind just muting yourself, it's causing feedback. Okay, that sounds much better. Okay, so let's get on to this project management module here. So this is a brand new module for 9.2, and it is an extension of the original project kind of code system. So if you're used to the basic SAP Business One, the only real project functionality it had was more or less a tag code that you could put on pretty much any document, any row, and it was really useful for doing, you know, mostly tracking of financial things, or it could be modified to do some logistical things, but it really wasn't too robust. So with the new version, you're going to see a new module appear here, project management, and a new form appear here called project. So I'm going to jump into this example. So you can see here that this gives you a lot more options. You can do external and internal projects. So this can be linked to something you're actually going to track for customer-side billing. And it gives you a lot of the information you'd need from the business partner to the sales employee territory, project name, status, and kind of a dynamic percentage complete. And it also links to a specific financial project in order to maintain kind of all of those original features and functions, you know, running it through P&L and a lot of the other things that you're able to do. So kind of the main section of this new project form is the Stages tab. And the Stages tab has all the information for the individual stages. You can see I have here initiation, planning, execution, and finishing. This is fully customizable. You can do whatever you want in here and set up your own order and kind of customize this and tailor this to your specific needs. We also have subtasks for those specific stages. So this is great if you're going to go and you're going to make you know, a project that you're going to track different phases. You're going to assign them to a specific owner. You can have a planned cost here and track and on an overview where you're sitting with your various AR and AP components. So you have invoices, you can have, say, open sales orders and quotes, and then you can have on the AP side AP invoices and potentially POs there. So you can see at the bottom these triangles that will expand to link to the extended information of these individual stages. So something like open issues, so I can click through these, and this is more or less a checklist, kind of just things that need to be checked off per stage. So it's nice to say, is this, this, and this complete? Yes. Okay, now I can finish the stage, and that will dynamically update my percentage complete. So this can be totally customized. I've just done, you know, needing to rebuild a router, and this can be assigned, have an estimated cost, and also be linked to the knowledge base for a solution if you would like to do that too. Further from that, you can do attachments. So I'm going to say stage 1. I can view, you can view all of the attachments, or you can click on a specific stage and just view those. So it's nice. You can get an overview view of the project, or you can get really specific, especially if you have a lot of stages. It makes it a lot more focused on that stage. So you can see here I have a CAD drawing as an example linked to this initial stage. And of course you can browse and add new ones and switch to different stages and see those different add-on attachments. Same with the documents. I can view all the attached documents to this specific project, or I can see them for a specific stage. So I see the quote here that was built, I see some of the invoices, I see some POs and invoices for different phases, and this allows you to track versus what you estimated to what has actually happened, and down the road will allow you to do a summary and some of the more interesting financial reports, the P&L and things based on a project. Work orders, I didn't do an example here, but you can see how this would work. You can do assembly, you can do manufacturing or production based on any of these different stages. Same logic, you can link to those different work orders if you need to, if you do production. Activities, similar, they're a little bit more detailed. They can be meetings, they can be meeting notes, they can be emails, phone calls, etc. Anything you're using your activities for, you can link those specifically to a different to one of the tasks here. And this is, again, a little bit more detailed and has tasks and follow-ups and things that maybe the open issues don't. The open issues is an amazing thing. It's a checklist. It's not the same as the activities. So you can link your open issues like a checklist, attachments, documents, and just as an example here, you can see how many different types of documents you can link there. So it's really nice. You can link anything you want to there and really capture the full 360 degrees of this project, all within these stages. So for the summary view, you can see your potential project amount. You can see your variance here. So we're under budget on our billing. You can see, gratefully, in this case, we're 33% under budget also for our costs. So that's really good too, to track these specific projects here. Work orders, obviously I have 0. You can also use sub-projects as well if you want to get really crazy and add sub-projects and complete those as well. So there's a mechanism for doing sub-projects. I'm not demonstrating that today, but you can see those summarized in the parent project as well. And then of course a due date variance as well. So I'm way ahead of my project on that. Okay, so with those things, you're going to also be able to right-click and run basic things like a P&L directly from here. You can do, your trial ballots, and all these various things are added as well. So also with this module, you get a couple different reports. So the stage analysis is kind of like a dashboard. You can drill into this. I only have this one project here, but you can drill down and see at a glance where the specific stages are. Now, this isn't really a replacement for some sort of custom kind of Crystal Reports dashboard. That's also an option too, so you could do some really nice custom stuff in there and really kind of track all of your projects exactly how you want to see them, with the stages, with the reports that you want, and so that's the details of the new project management module there. For campaigns, it is not new, but some people were not aware of it. Maybe you upgraded to 9.1 for a different reason and you maybe weren't aware of this new campaign functionality. So campaigns, what they've added to it, I'll go a little bit into it, but also talk about what they've added. So what it is basically is you can make a group of customers. So in this case I did a high-tech target group, and you can splinter that however you want, doing segments. I did a high-tech customer group here, and I'm going to do a mail out for a promotion on this JB Office Print printer, and this allows me to make the campaign, and I'll show you some of the options later, but you can either integrate this manually with something like a MailChimp, or you can actually do a template, and I'll show you that again. So one of the new things is being able to add vendors. So previously this was customers only, but now you can do vendors. So if you're going to send out a request for tender, you want to send out, you have a group of custom manufacturers that you use, and you want to send some information and get a request for a quote, they will be able to do it through that. So that's one of the new things. So then, with the basic campaign functionality, this isn't new to 9.2, but just to give you a little bit of an overview, you can actually track the responses and say who responded, did we end up doing a quote, did we do an activity to this. You can record notes here and see just how successful you were with this particular campaign, and it allows you to have a place where, if they call back in, you can track it directly to this campaign, and it kind of integrates your, again, say like a MailChimp or something where you're doing mass mailing with your actual SAP Business One to give you better analytics and better tracking on your marketing and or vendor side campaigns. So the other thing that they've added here is the ability to run a campaign again. So with the campaign generation wizard, one of the new functions is you can run an existing campaign again and exclude lines where the business partners have already responded. So if you wanted to send it out again, say, hey, this deal is still on, and just resend it, maybe they missed it, maybe they just didn't have time for it, etc. You can rerun this. Pick the options, pick the ones that hadn't responded, and then you get these nice options here. So this is one where you can generate an external list. This is what you would do, again, with like a MailChimp scenario or a constant contact. Now you can send the email using your Outlook integration. You can send it using the Business One mail or SPO mailer, as it was used to call it, send it by fax, or you can actually generate a URL. This is supposedly going to work with the B1I integration to generate a URL where your customers can view it, or vendors. So they do have templates here. So this is one of the templates that it comes with. So this is something where you can customize this and use this. There are several templates that come with the campaign setup, so you can use these, run your campaigns for customers or vendors, and track the responses right from Business One. So I can generate an external list. This does a text file there that, again, can be imported into something like a MailChimp. Now, the most exciting part, or to me anyways, is this browser access. This is a brand new, totally, in my opinion, innovative feature that was added with 9.2. So this will give you the capability to replace something like a remote access or a terminal server or a Citrix deployment, and with your maintenance, the software is already included. You just have to upgrade to 9.2, and then you'll be able to serve your SAP Business One system externally, secured with an SSL certificate, out to any web browser. So in this kind of scenario, you can definitely go and use this externally instead of having to go through RDP, instead of having to go through a VPN, instead of having to install the SAP Business One client on your home machine or something like that. Or in a case where you have external salespeople. If the external salespeople, you don't want to give them too much access, you just want to say, here's where you can go and you can check inventory pricing and do your quotes directly in the system, they can go ahead and do that. So the other beautiful thing is it's operating system independent. So I've tried it on an iPad, it'll work on a Mac OS. So again, it can be used for anybody who's working externally, but it's kind of a really neat setup for external salespeople. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. So I'm just running this off my local machine. So I just logged in there. Left my session open too long. We can't hide this. Okay, so you can see I've logged in. Again, this is just logged in locally and directly to my specific machine. But you can see that you have all the same modules, sales, purchasing, and I'm actually really happy with the amount of adaptation they've done. They've gone through and you can see, you've done the sales quotes. it feels like Business One. It feels snappy. It feels quick. I've tried this even remotely across the country, and it's nice. It's really, they've done a lot of work to replicate almost everything. There are a couple of limitations. You know, for example, the cockpit isn't there, and you don't get things like the relationship map. But again, if you're looking at this information here, certain users won't need it, or if you're just happy to have access to specific modules or crystal reports, you know, I can go through here and check my inventory. I can go through here and do a print preview and see in a couple of seconds that the sales or the crystal reports here, you're going to see that it generates the crystal reports just as if you were in the browser there. I can go through here, and if I've set up SBO mailer, I have the SBO mailer link here and the same kind of prompts and same kind of functionality, and I can send it right through here. Obviously, if you're using Outlook integration, it may not work, but the SBO mailer, you can send this directly to the customer that way. So, I mean, as a final kind of dog and pony show trick here, you can see the project. This was the project I was just working on. You can see the documents I was looking at here. You can drill down to the specific stages. So you can see they've done a really great job of integrating this and making this in HTML5 so that it really replicates the feeling of the browser of the client, the desktop client. So a question from this morning was, do add-ons work in the browser access version? And the answer is some of them do and some of them don't. So there's a compatibility list. So if you're using something like a B1 Up or the Boyum B1 usability package, a lot of it is supported, and there's kind of a list of things that work, and most of them work, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised about the features and functions that are brought over and that actually work very well in the browser version. So if your question is, if I upgrade, can I use you know, add-on X or Y in the browser version, we would need to test it, and we do have a list of some common add-ons, but some we would just need to test. So most of them, you know, I don't want to give a percentage on it, but you know, we'll be able to determine that. So again, the browser access version, no additional licensing. This is included with your 9.2 maintenance. Just requires some configuration. I'm running just a self-signed certificate. You can do that if you want, or we can set up a legit SSL. It doesn't really make too much of a difference in terms of what the user sees, except they just have to confirm that it's a self-signed certificate. So you can use this right away. If you upgrade to 9.2, we can deploy it. It replicates your system, operating system independently anywhere you want it, from home or even within the office. You could use it potentially if you wanted to. And in my opinion, it is a really great replication of the basic SAP Business One client. So today we've talked about projects and project management, the new module track, the extended module and functionality of the projects in SAP Business One. Again, that's just out of the box now with Business One. You get all those features and functions. Campaigns, not necessarily new, but now you can do vendor campaigns. And again, if you weren't aware of some of the campaign functionality, you can do that, and you can also rerun campaigns. So if you want to send it out again, you don't have to make a new campaign. You can kind of reprompt. And of course the browser access, which I just talked about, which will hopefully be able to replace some of your terminal servers and some of your Citrix deployments. So having said that, thank you very much for watching the webinar about the new 9.2 enhancements, and I'll pass it back to you, Tracy, to finish it off.
All right, thanks, Mike. Does anybody have any questions? Nobody has any questions? Look, you've got, Mike, if you want to put back just the screen that has the tech support numbers. If you do have questions and you need help of some sort, this is included in your maintenance plan. You can just call your support here, but I just want to specify that we've just implemented, and you'll be getting this email, I don't know if it's going to be today or on Monday, but we've just implemented Autotask, which is software that was to help us improve with the tickets when you guys call support. So instead of calling support SAP, you're just it's gonna be support at Forgestic, just support without the SAP at forgestic.com, And this is our new software to manage all of your tickets if you have questions or if you need help with anything. Also, our next webinar is going to be on the 4th of November, which I'm going to send out all the invitations next week sometime, or the week of November 4th, regarding the Windows updates. I know that some people who had older versions of SAP, being 9.1 patch level 11 and older than that, had problems with their Windows updates in their SAP when they updated Windows. So we're going to be having a webinar on that to show you how to go around the problem and fix it. And again, if you have any questions, please, call support. You can send me an email as well if I can help you with anything. And if anybody wants a copy of this taped session that we just had, just send me an email. I could send you one as well for part 1. So thanks everyone for being with us, and talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.